Hi, everyone. Hello there. Welcome to the show. I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Look at this crowd. Everyone is looking festive. Everyone is looking ready for the holidays. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of December. We are 2 days away from Christmas. 2 days. Can you believe it? I haven't bought a single gift, not one. I'm planning to do all my shopping at the gas station on the way home tonight. My wife is getting a car charger and a bag of beef jerky. It's going to be magical. But seriously, everyone is doing good. Everyone is happy. I hope you are. I really do. Because while we are all getting ready to roast chestnuts and argue with our uncles about politics down in Washington, D.C., they are having a very different kind of holiday season. They are having a season of subpoenas. It is wild right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news or if you've just been watching Hallmark movies where a big city lawyer falls in love with a guy who owns a Christmas tree farm. But if you have been watching the actual news, you know that we are witnessing the heavyweight championship of political scandals. It is the battle of the exes. And I don't mean ex-wives, although in Donald Trump's case, that is always a possibility. I am talking about ex-presidents. We have former President Bill Clinton and we have President Donald Trump. And they are currently locked in a cage match over the Jeffrey Epstein files. And let me tell you, this is the gift that keeps on giving. It's like the advent calendar from hell. Every day you open a little door and instead of chocolate, you get a redacted PDF file and a tweet from a crazy person. You know, for the longest time years, really, Donald Trump and his MAGA team, the Make Attorneys Get Attorneys crowd, they have been teasing these Jeffrey Epstein files. They've been dangling them over our heads like a set of keys in front of a baby. Trump has been posting on Truth Social, which, by the way, is still hanging on. It's like the Radio Shack of social media, just won't go away. But he's been posting implying that if these files get released, it's going to be curtains for the Democrats. He's basically been saying, just you wait. I've got the list. I've got the names. It's going to be huge. It's going to be beautiful. He's been acting like he has the nuclear codes, but for gossip, he's been suggesting that Bill Clinton is in big trouble. Well, today, something happened that I don't think Donald Trump expected. In fact, I don't think anyone expected it. Bill Clinton called his bluff. Yeah, Slick Willie himself. He didn't hide. He didn't run. He didn't suddenly decide to take up a hobby like knitting in a bunker in New Zealand. He didn't fake a hip injury. Bill Clinton officially demanded full transparency from the Trump Department of Justice. He released a statement essentially saying, show us the money, or in this case, show us the creepy document. And listen to this quote. This is from Clinton's spokesperson. It is a masterpiece of passive-aggressive political theater. It says, the Department of Justice's selective release suggests that someone is being protected. And then the hammer drop. The quote continues, we need no such protection. We need no such protection. That is a bold line. That is the kind of thing you say right before you walk away from an explosion in a movie without looking back. That is the confidence of a man who knows exactly where he was on every Friday night in the 1990s. And apparently, it wasn't where Donald Trump thinks he was. Clinton is explicitly calling on Donald Trump to direct his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to immediately release everything. All of it, grand jury records, photos, receipts, blockbuster rental histories. He wants it all out there. And you have to stop and think for a second. Why would he do that? Why? If you are guilty, you don't ask for the evidence to be released. You ask for the evidence to be accidentally lost in a flood or eaten by a dog or stored in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago next to chandelier. But Clinton is saying, open the vault. He's basically saying, I'll show you mine if show me yours, which in the context of Bill Clinton is a phrase we'd probably be very careful with, but it's a power move. It really is. It's like when you're playing poker and you shove all your chips in the middle and stare the other guy down. Clinton is looking across the table at Trump and saying, I'm all in, are you? And right now, Trump is looking at his cards and sweating through his bronzer. See, the problem is the Trump administration, or the Trump regime, as the internet is calling them now, which makes it sound like a dystopian novel. They've been playing games with these files. It's a shell game. On Friday, everyone was waiting. The media was ready. The internet sleuths were ready. We had popcorn. We had our reading glasses on. And what did they release? They produced maybe 2 to 5% of the total files. That's it, 2%. That's like ordering a pizza and getting a single slice of pepperoni delivered in a massive box. And the stuff they did release, it was redacted, heavily redacted, just black ink everywhere. It looked like a Rorschach test for people with trust issues. It was like getting a book report from a kid who didn't read the book. The black bar was a very black bar day. Thanks. Very helpful. I mean, they must have gone through 1,000 Sharpies. The office supply budget for the Department of Justice must be through the roof. But here's where it gets funny. And by funny, I mean stupid. the Trump team, they tried to get cute with the release. They thought they were being clever. They released a photo. This is real. This actually happened. They released a photo of Bill Clinton in a swimming pool, and they redacted, they blacked out the other person's face in the pool. So they put this out there, and the implication was obvious. They wanted you to look at it and go, oh my God, look, Clinton is in the pool at Epstein Island with a victim scandal, lock him up, call the Navy SEALs. The internet went crazy for about 12 minutes, and then people with eyes and Google Maps looked at the photo. Turns out it wasn't Epstein Island, it was the pool at the Empire Hotel in Brunei. It was a hotel pool in Brunei. I mean, come on. There's a big difference between a private island of doom and a hotel where you can order a club sandwich and a mojito by the poolside. The person in the pool whose face they blacked out, it wasn't a victim. It was likely Sarah Kellen, who was one of the staff members, or just a random tourist trying to do a backstroke who didn't sign a release form. They're trying to frame him with a vacation photo. That's like trying to frame me for bank robbery because you found a picture of me holding a bag of takeout food from Arby's. Look, he's holding a bag. He's guilty of having terrible taste in lunch. It's lazy. It's just lazy work. If you're going to frame a former president, put some effort into it. Photoshop a parrot on his shoulder or something. Make it believable. And it gets worse. Oh, it gets so much worse. They released another photo. This one had Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross. Now, first of all, that sounds like the setup to the coolest joke ever. Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross walk into a bar. I would pay good money to see that trio hang out. But in the photo, there were some children, just kids standing there. So the Trump Doge, the Department of Justice, your tax dollars at work. People, this is what you're paying for. They blurred out the kids' faces. They put the big black bars over their eyes to insinuate, oh, look at these poor, unidentified children in this terrible situation. Who are these victims? What horrors did they witness? Well, guess what happened? The children identified themselves. They are Diana Ross's children. They are grown-ups now, and they saw the news and were like, hey, that's us. That was taken in 1993 at a public event. We were just hanging out with our mom and the king of pop. Can you imagine? You're just sitting at home watching CNN, eating a bowl of cereal, and suddenly you see a pixelated version of your own childhood photo being used as evidence of a global conspiracy. Honey, come look. I'm on television. Apparently, I've been trafficked. It's insane. The Trump dacha is basically just scrolling through old Instagram feeds, looking for anyone standing next to Bill Clinton and saying, aha, gotcha. Next week, they're going to release a photo of Bill Clinton shaking hands with the Easter Bunny and claim the bunny is a known associate of the deep state. Look at the ears. Those are wiretaps. That basket is full of secrets. It's amateur hour. It really is. It's like they gave the investigation to a group of conspiracy theorists on Reddit and said, go nuts, guys. But Clinton isn't the only one fighting back. This is a team effort now. The Avengers are assembling, Reid Hoffman. He's the billionaire who co-founded LinkedIn. Yeah, a few people clapping for LinkedIn. I know. We all have a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn. It's the only social network where people congratulate you for working on a Saturday. Congratulations on your work anniversary. I hope you die at your desk. It's the only place where people use phrases like thought leader and synergy unironically. But Reid Hoffman is a big Democratic donor, and Trump, being Trump, has been attacking him too. Trump posted that he wants the FBI to investigate Hoffman along with Clinton. He lumped them all together. He threw Larry Summers in there too. He's just naming random people he saw on television. So what does Reid Hoffman do? He releases a statement saying, release it all, every document, every name. I have nothing to hide. He essentially said, I refuse to bend the knee to Donald Trump and his slanderous lies, which is very Game of Thrones. I will not bend the knee. I expected dragons to fly out behind him when he said it. Hoffman even pointed out an email from 2011. This is real. This was found in the 18,000 emails the Democrats released, an email from Jeffrey Epstein himself. In the email, Epstein is writing to a friend, and he says, quote, the stories are complete and utter fantasy. I don't know and have never met Al Gore. Clinton was never on the island. The telephone book is not mine. It was stolen by my houseman that is currently in prison for doing so. Think about that. Even the bad guy, even Jeffrey Epstein, was like, yeah, Clinton wasn't here. When the villain of the story is clearing your name, you're probably in the clear. It's like the Joker telling Batman, actually, Robin was at the library studying. Leave him out of this. He's a good kid. He gets straight A's. And by the way, my houseman, who talks like that? My houseman stole the telephone book. That sounds like a line from a game of Clue. It was the houseman in the library with the telephone book. But the point is, the evidence, the actual evidence, seems to show that Trump is just making things up. Shocking, I know. I'll give you a moment to recover from that revelation. But Donald Trump doesn't care about emails. He doesn't care about fact. He cares about vibe. He cares about noise. He went on social media and posted this long, rambling rant demanding that his attorney general investigate everyone he wants. Investigations into Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, basically anyone who didn't vote for him. If you didn't buy a MAGA hat in 2024, you are on the list. And this is the part that is actually kind of scary, but also hilarious in a we're all doomed kind of way. He tagged his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, in the post. He didn't send a memo. He didn't have a formal meeting in the Oval Office. He didn't send a courier with a wax-sealed envelope. He tweeted at her. He mentioned her. It's like how you get the attention of Delta Airlines when they lose your luggage. Hey, Faye Pam Bondi, please arrest my enemies. Thanks, Number MAGA. And Pam Bondi, God bless her, she responded to the social media post like she was an Uber Eats driver confirming an order. She literally wrote back, "Thank you, Mr. President. The department will pursue this with urgency. Thank you, Mr. President." Since when does the Attorney General of the United States take orders from a social media post? It's supposed to be the Department of Justice, not DoorDash. You can't just order an investigation like a pepperoni pizza. Yeah, I'd like one large investigation into Bill Clinton. Hold the evidence, extra cheese, and can you deliver it before the midterms and make it snappy? I'm hungry. And poor Pam Bondi, she's replying like, "Yes, sir, right away, sir." Would you like fries with that indictment? Do you want to supersize the subpoena? It's embarrassing. The Justice Department is supposed to be independent. Now it's just part of the Trump customer service team. It's like the Genius Bar. But for people who want to arrest their enemies, hi, welcome to the DOJ Genius Bar. Have you tried turning the Constitution off and on again? Guillermo, have you ever been ordered to do something via tweet? No, Jimmy. I don't have Twitter. You don't have Twitter. Smart man, stay off it. It's where sanity goes to die. If I tweeted at you to get me a coffee, would you do it? Number exactly. That's the spirit. That is the kind of independence we need in our government. Guillermo for Attorney General. Everybody, he won't answer tweets, but he makes a mean tequila sunrise. But here's the other thing. The Trump team has this guy, James Comer. You know, James Comer, he's the congressman from Kentucky. He looks like the guy at the car dealership who tells you the undercoating is mandatory. He looks like the guy who tries to sell you a timeshare in a swamp. James Comer has been leading these investigations for the Republicans. And he went on television today, and his logic is just, it's beautiful. It is breathtakingly stupid. It belongs in a museum of stupidity. He said, the evidence we've gathered doesn't implicate Trump. It implicates Clinton. Okay, sure. And then he said, listen to this logic. He said, Donald Trump has answered thousands of questions about Epstein, but Bill Clinton hasn't. Really, Donald Trump answered questions when? When did he answer questions? I must have missed that episode. Usually, when you ask Donald Trump a question, he answers by talking about sharks or battery, or how much better the toilets flush in the 1980s. That's not an answer. That's a word salad with a side of delusion. Comer is sitting there saying, we found nothing on Trump. Yeah, because you close your eyes. It's like playing hide and seek and shouting, I win. Before you even start looking, I counted to one, found nobody. I'm the best seeker ever. It's willful ignorance. It's like looking at a fire and saying, I don't see any smoke, but I do see that Bill Clinton is holding a matchbook from 1997, so he must be the arson. And let's not forget what Susie Wiles said. Susie Wiles, who works for Trump, she's his chief of staff. She did an interview with Vanity Fair, and even she admitted that Trump was wrong. She was asked if there was anything incriminating about Mr. Clinton in the files, and she said, the president was wrong about that, wrong about that. That's a polite way of saying he made it up. That's the Washington equivalent of saying he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She also said that Trump mighty unhappy when Ghislaine Maxwell was a minimum security prison. He was ticked. Why was he ticked? Was he worried she wasn't getting enough yard time? Was he worried the food wasn't good enough? Why does he care so much about the living arrangements of a convicted trafficker? It's all just so weird. It's weird, right? I mean, if I found out a criminal was moved to a different prison, my reaction would be, okay. His reaction was mighty unhappy. That implies a level of emotional investment that is frankly concerning. But the cherry on top, the absolute best part of this whole circus is Bill Clinton's attitude. You know, usually ex-presidents are very dignified. They build libraries, they paint portraits of dogs, they go skydiving with Bush, they sit at funerals and pass candy to Michelle Obama. That's the gig. But Bill Clinton, he's decided to get into the mud. He's rolled up his sleeves and said, all right, Donnie, let's dance. And he is clearly enjoying himself. He gave a speech recently where he talked about how old everyone is. He said, I'm only 2 months younger than Donald Trump, which is true. They're basically high school classmates. They probably fought over the same cheerleader in 1964. They probably listened to the same 8 tracks. But then Clinton said this. He said, but the good news for you is I will not spend 30 minutes swaying back and forth to music. He went there. He brought up the swaying. You remember this. A few weeks ago, at a town hall, Trump just stopped taking questions. He just decided no more questions. The questions are boring. And he made the crowd listen to Ave Maria and Dimka and rich men north of Richmond for 30 minutes while he just swayed. He stood there on stage, moving back and forth like a metronome that needs a battery change. He looked like a Roomba that got stuck in a corner, just bumping into the invisible wall bump, turn, and the crowd just stood there. It was like a cult meeting at a disco. And Clinton is like, I won't do that. I will not clap off beat, nor will I pretend to be a conductor. I mean, that is a burn when Bill Clinton is making fun of your dancing skills. You know, it's bad because, let's be honest, Bill Clinton wasn't exactly known for his rhythm either. The Macarena was big when he was president, and let's just say he didn't exactly nail it. He looked like he was trying to swat mosquitoes, but at least he kept the saxophone playing to a reasonable length. He didn't hold the audience hostage with a playlist from Spotify. And Clinton also said, I don't know what to say about these endless tributes to the late, great Hannibal Lecter, because Trump keeps bringing up Hannibal Lecter in every speech. He talks about Hannibal Lecter like he's a misunderstood genius who just had a specific diet. He wanted to have a friend for dinner. Is that so wrong? He was a lovely man, very sharp, very good with Chianti. So now we have Bill Clinton mocking Trump for loving a fictional cannibal and for dancing like a wacky, waving, inflatable arm, flailing tube man. And on the other side, we have Trump screaming at Pam Bondi on the internet to arrest the guy from LinkedIn. This is American politics in 2025. It's a fever dream. It's like we all ate bad sushi and we're having the same nightmare together. Hillary Clinton weighed in too. Did you see this? Hillary, who, by the way, has been warning us about this stuff for like 40 years. She's probably sitting at home with a glass of Chardonnay, just shaking her head saying, I told you so, she said. Every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims it is rigged. She listed them all, the FBI investigation. Rigged, the Iowa caucus, rigged. The Wisconsin primary, rigged. Trump University fraud case, rigged. The Emmys, rigged. Yeah, he claimed the Emmys were rigged because The Apprentice didn't win. He tweeted about it. He was legitimately angry that he didn't win an Emmy. I mean, to be fair, The Amazing Race is a very good show. Donald, they travel the world. You just fired Gary Busey in a boardroom. It's not the same production value, but he said it's a mindset. It's how he thinks. And it's true if Donald Trump plays solitaire and loses. He claims the cards were shuffled by the deep state. The Jack of Spades is a Reno. He's a never-Trumper. The Queen of Hearts is nasty woman. It's exhausting. It really is. But look, at the end of the day, what are we really talking about here? We are talking about two men who should probably be enjoying their retirement, playing golf and eating pudding, but instead, they are locked in a death match over who has the sketchier friends. And the saddest part is the American people are just sitting here waiting for the price of eggs to come down. We just want affordable groceries, and instead, we get a lecture about who was or wasn't at a pool party in Brunei in 2002. It's a distraction. That's what Reid Hoffman called it. He called it a political persecution and slander. Clinton called it a fantasy. And Trump calls it Tuesday. So we're going to keep watching. We have no choice, really. It's the only show in town. We'll see if Pam Bondi actually releases the files or if she just sends another polite tweet. My guess is we're going to see a lot more black bars and a lot more blurry photos. Maybe next week they'll release a photo of Bill Clinton eating a bagel and claim it's proof he stole the moon. Who knows? Look at the circular shape of the bagel. It's the moon. He ate the moon. But until then, we're just stuck in the middle of the world's most expensive and least entertaining retirement home argument. It makes you miss the days when political scandals were simple, like someone misspelling potato. Remember that. That was a simpler time. Now we have global conspiracies involving LinkedIn and hotel pools. Here is the additional 10,000 characters of monologue material to be inserted into that specific spot in the script. And honestly, can we just pause for a second to appreciate the sheer stupidity of the pool conspiracy? I mean, really think about the brain power required to mess this up. You are the Department of Justice. You have the FBI. You have satellites. You have access to the most sophisticated facial recognition technology in the history of mankind. You can probably zoom in on a license plate from space, and yet your big gotcha moment relies on a blurry JPEG that looks like it was taken with a Game Boy camera in 1998. And not just any photo, a photo of a hotel pool in Brunei. Do you know where Brunei is? I had to look it up. It's a tiny nation on the island of Borneo. It is famous for two things: having a very wealthy sultan and apparently having a pool that looks vaguely like a pool on a private island. If you squint your eyes and have recently suffered a minor head injury, that's the standard of evidence we are dealing with. It's the squint test. If you squint hard enough, Bill Clinton looks like the hamburger. If you squint hard enough, that palm tree looks like a conspiracy. Imagine being the guy at the DOJ whose job it was to find that photo. You know, there's some intern named Tyler who was tasked with finding dirt on Clinton. And Tyler is scrolling through Google Images at 3 a.m., chugging Red Bull, and he sees blue water and a white guy with white hair, and he screams, "Eureka, I found it, the smoking gun." And he runs into the Oval Office, or I guess he tweets at the Oval Office and says, "Mr. President, we got him. He's in the water. Water is wet. Islands are surrounded by water." Boom, case closed. And nobody checked. Nobody said, "Hey, Tyler, maybe right. Click and do a reverse image search." Number, they just slapped a black bar over the other guy's face, poor Sarah Kellen or whoever that was, probably just trying to enjoy a nice day query, and they released it to the world. And what's next? What is the next photo they're going to release? A picture of Bill Clinton at a petting zoo. Look at him. He's whispering secrets to a goat. That goat is a deep state operative. That goat knows where the emails are, or maybe a photo of Clinton at a McDonald's. We know he loves McDonald's. They'll release a photo of him eating a Big Mac and say, "Notice the sesame seeds. There are exactly 33 seeds." That's a code. That's the coordinate for the secret bunker. It never ends. It is a level of desperation that smells like cheap cologne and panic. And speaking of desperation, can we talk about this house man? I am obsessed with the house man. In that email from Jeffrey Epstein, the one that Reid Hoffman pointed out, the one where Epstein says the phone book was stolen, he blames it on my house man. My house man. Who calls their staff a house man? Is that a job title? It sounds like a superhero who has the power to fix drywall. Never fear, citizens. It is I, house man. I will unclog your drains and steal your address books. My house man is currently in prison for doing so. That is what the email said. So let's get this straight. According to this story, there is a rogue domestic worker, a house man, who was so obsessed with Jeffrey Epstein's contact list that he stole it, got caught, and went to prison. And that's why Bill Clinton's name is in there, because the house man put it there, or the house man stole it to frame him. I'm confused. I need a flow chart. I need a whiteboard and a laser pointer to understand the logic of the house man. But it adds this layer of Downton Abbey drama to the whole thing. You just know Trump read that and got jealous. Wait, he has a house man. I want a house man. Why don't I have a house man, Pam? Get me a house man. Get me a house man who can steal phone books and tweet for me. It's status envy. Trump has valets, he has assistants, he has people who follow him around with ketchup packets, but he doesn't have a house man. And that eats him up inside. And then we circle back to LinkedIn. I still can't get over the fact that LinkedIn is the center of a global political scandal. LinkedIn, the social network, you only visit when you get laid off or when you want to stalk your ex-boyfriend's new job title. I didn't even know you could do conspiracies on LinkedIn. I thought it was just for endorsing people for strategic planning and Microsoft Excel. Reid Hoffman endorsed for human trafficking. Is that a skill you can add now? Highly recommended. Reid is a visionary in the field of deep state plotting, a real team player. It's absurd. The idea that these masterminds are coordinating their evil plans on the same platform where I get notifications about 5 tips for better synergy is hilarious. Imagine the messages: "Hey, Bill, hope you're having a productive week. Just wanted to circle back and touch base about the global domination plan." Are we still on for the secret meeting at the pizza place? Let's leverage our core competencies to destroy democracy. Best Reid. P.S. Congrats on the work anniversary. It's so corporate. It's the banality of evil, literally. And Trump is treating Reid Hoffman like he's a Bond villain, but he's a tech guy. He probably wears a fleece vest and drinks kombucha. He's not petting a white cat in a volcano. He's probably trying to figure out how to disrupt the dry cleaning industry with an app. But in Trump's mind, anyone with money who doesn't like him is part of the cabal. It's the cabal of people who didn't invite me to the party. That's really what this is about. And let's not gloss over the swaying. Bill Clinton brought it up, and I think we need to stay on it because it was a defining moment of the 2024 campaign that we all just kind of accepted. The man stood on stage and swayed for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Do you know how long 30 minutes is in television time? That's an entire episode of Seinfeld. You could watch the whole contest episode in the time Trump stood there bobbing his head to Ave Maria. And it wasn't just Ave Maria. It was a playlist. It was a DJ set. He played Conti Partiro. He played MCA. He played November Rain. Can you imagine standing in a convention center in Pennsylvania sweating, waiting for the candidate to talk about inflation? and instead you just get to watch an elderly man vibe to Guns N' Roses for 9 minutes, and the crowd didn't leave. They just stood there. It was like a mass hypnosis event. Yes, we love the swaying. The swaying is good. The swaying will lower gas prices. If Joe Biden, God rest his political career, if Joe Biden had stood on stage and swayed for 30 seconds, Fox News would have had a stroke. They would have had a countdown clock. Biden freeze watch, day 4. Sean Hannity would have done a special investigation into whether Biden was actually a wax figure that was melting under the stage lights. But Trump does it, and it's genius. It's avant-garde, it's performance art. And Bill Clinton, who, let's remember, is a musician. He plays the sax, he knows rhythm, and he looked at that swaying and said, nope, I can't endorse that. That was the line for Clinton. Not the policies, not the rhetoric, it was the lack of rhythm. I can forgive a lot, Donald, but you were offbeat during the Village People, and that is unforgivable. It really is the battle of the grandpas. We have one grandpa who wants to play DJ and dance awkwardly at the wedding, and we have another grandpa who wants to tell you stories about the 90s and flirt with the waitstaff. And we are just the grandkids sitting at the kids' table, burying our heads in our hands, praying they don't start fighting over the check-in. Speaking of fighting, let's talk about James Comer again. I know I mentioned him, but he deserves a second pass because the man is a comedic goldmine. He is the Inspector Clouseau of Congress. He has spent years investigating the Biden crime family, and all he found was that Hunter Biden really likes questionable selfies and didn't pay his taxes on time, which honestly is half of America. But now he's pivoted to Clinton. He's like a shark that smells blood, but the shark is confused and keeps biting the boat instead of the swimmer. We found that Bill Clinton has not answered questions. That's his big smoking gun. He hasn't answered questions. Yeah, James, that's called not being stupid. You don't just volunteer to answer questions from a guy whose nickname is Gomer Pyle of the Potomac. You stay home, you watch Matlock, you enjoy your retirement. Comer's investigations are like a magic trick where the magician forgets how the trick works halfway through. Pick a card, any card, okay? Now, wait, was it the Queen of Diamonds? No, damn it, okay? Pick another card. Pick a card until I get it right. That is the James Comer method. Investigate until we find something. Anything. Did he jaywalk in 1984? Did he tear the tag off a mattress? We got him. And through all of this, the swaying, the pools, the housemen, the tweets, we have poor Pam Bondi. I almost feel bad for her. Almost she took the job of Attorney General thinking, I'm going to be the top law enforcement officer in the land. I will be respected. I will uphold the Constitution. And instead, she's basically Trump's personal Siri. Hey, Pam, arrest the guy from the television who made fun of my tie. Yes, Mr. President. Hey, Pam, find out why the McCrib isn't back yet. Subpoena the clown. Right away, Mr. President. Hey, Pam, tweet something scary at the Democrats. Done, sir. She's not an attorney general. She's a TaskRabbit. She's doing chores. And the fact that she responds publicly on social media is the saddest part. It's like watching a couple break up on Facebook, but instead of a breakup, it's the collapse of the judicial system. Relationship status, it's complicated with the rule of law. And let's look at the timing of this. It's 2 days before Christmas. 2 days. We should be talking about Santa. We should be tracking reindeer. Instead, we are tracking flight logs from the Lolita Express. Nothing says Merry Christmas like a subpoena for a sex trafficking ring. It's a very MAGA Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a redacted PDF and a felony. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 stolen phone books, 3 housemen, 4 swaying rallies, 5 golden toilets. It's just exhausting. But you know what? It's also kind of perfect because 2025 has been a weird year. We have flying taxis now. Did you see that? In Dubai, they have flying taxis, and here we have arguing octogenarians. That's the contrast. The rest of the world is living in the Jetsons, and we are living in a rerun of Golden Girls, but without the cheesecake and the witty banter. We have AI that can write poetry. We have robots that can fold laundry, which, by the way, I need. I need the laundry robot immediately. But politically, we are stuck in a time loop. We are relitigating the 90s. We are arguing about Bill Clinton. What's next? Are we going to bring back the OJ trial? Are we going to argue about whether Ross and Rachel were on a break? Mr. President, we have new evidence. They were on a break. False fake news. They were not on a break. Ross is a loser. It feels like we ran out of new plot lines, so the writers of America, the series just started looking at old scripts. Hey, remember that Monica thing? Let's bring that back, but make it weirder. Remember the 2016 election? Let's do it again. But this time, everyone is older and cranky. It's a reboot. Nobody asked. And the files themselves, the famous file. I bet, honestly, when they finally release the unredacted version, if they ever do, it's going to be the most boring letdown in history. It's going to be emails about catering. Jeffrey, please ensure there are gluten-free options on the island. Jeffrey, the massage table is squeaky. Please fix. Jeffrey, the houseman stole the towels again. We're expecting bombshells, and we're going to get receipts for pool cleaner. That's how these things always go. The buildup is end of the world, and the payoff is administrative error. But until then, we have the spectacle, we have the show, and Donald Trump is the showman. You have to give him that. He knows how to keep the camera on him. Even when he's not doing anything, he's doing something. He's swaying, he's tweeting, he's creating a reality where he is the victim, the hero, the judge, and the jury all at once. It's impressive in a terrifying way. It's like watching a guy juggle chainsaws while riding a unicycle on a tightrope over a shark tank. You don't want him to fall, but you also kind of want to see what happens if he drops one and Bill Clinton. He's just the guy in the audience eating popcorn, heckling the juggler. Hey, you missed a spot. Your unicycle is squeaky. And that makes Trump wobble. That's what this is. It's heckler versus juggler. And right now, the heckler is winning because the juggler is too busy checking his phone to see if Pam Bondi liked his post. It's a circus, folks. It's the Barnum and Bailey circus of bureaucracy. And we are all in the front row getting splashed with water from the clown car and the water. It's from the pool in Brunei. Audience cheers and laughs. It all comes back to the pool. Everything leads back to the pool. It's the source. It's the fountain of youth. It's the portal to another dimension where facts don't matter and house men roam free. So that's where we are. The 23rd of December, 2025, the world is spinning, the politicians are fighting, and I still haven't bought my wife a present. Maybe I'll get her a houseman. Do they sell those on Amazon? Alexa, order me one houseman, please. Prime delivery. I found 3 housemen near you. One is currently in prison. Would you like to proceed? No, Alexa. Cancel order. Cancel everything. But really, despite the madness, despite the files and the feuds, there is something comforting about the fact that some things never change. Politicians will always be petty, scandals will always be stupid, and the internet will always be undefeated in finding the truth about hotel pools. So let's raise a glass or a redacted document absurdity of it all, because if we don't laugh, cry, and crying messes up my mascara. And I look terrible with runny mascara. Guillermo knows. He's seen it. Guillermo, you look beautiful, Jimmy. Jimmy, thank you, Guillermo. You're a good friend. You're my houseman, Guillermo. I am not your houseman. I am your sidekick, Jimmy. Sidekick. Houseman. Same thing, really. Just don't steal my phone book. Okay, Guillermo, I already did, Jimmy. He's a criminal mastermind. Lock him up, call Pam Bondi, tweet at her. Arrest Guillermo. Jimmy pretends to type on his phone, Faye Pam Bondi, Guillermo stole my heart, send help. See, it's easy. Anyone can do it. I do want to say, though, on a serious note, and I try not to be too serious because I'm wearing makeup and a suit that's slightly tight, but there is something really cynical about using the Justice Department to settle personal scores. It's not what it's for. It's not your personal law firm. And seeing the Attorney General respond to a tweet like a fan club president, it's just not a good look. It's murky. It's swampy. And ironically, the guy who promised to drain the swamp seems to be filling it up with alligators and telling them who to bite. But hey, it's Christmas. Let's try to find the joy. Maybe the joy is that Bill Clinton is back in the spotlight, reminding us all that you can be 80 years old and still throw shade like a drag. We need no such protection. I might get that tattooed on my back. It's a great line. Maybe we should all adopt that attitude for the new year. When your boss asks why you're late, I need no such protection. When the cop asks why you were speeding, I need no such protection. See how far that gets you? Probably jail. It will get you to jail. But for a former president, it works. We have a great show for you tonight. We're going to try to make sense of the rest of the news, or at least laugh at it until it goes away. We have music tonight. We have guests. We have Guillermo. Guillermo, are you ready for the show? Yes, Jimmy. Are you ready to be investigated by the DOJ? No, Jimmy. See, he's honest. That's what we need, honesty. And maybe a little less swaying, just a little less. Keep the swaying to a minimum. Folks, stick around. We'll be right back with more. This is going to be a fun night. Don't go anywhere.